Very good morning. I'm Mr. Mahesh Iyer, Assistant Professor and HOD in Computer Science and BCA, Government of First Grade College, Tumkur. Today I'm going to explain the database fundamentals. This comes under chapter 1. This is called session 1. First, let us see data. What is data? It is a collection of facts, figures, statistics. That is called what is data. Now let us see information. What is information? It is nothing but a processed data or collection of data which is having perfect meaning. That is information. Next, field. It is a single piece of information. Collection of fields is known as one record. Collection of records is known as one file. You take one example, employee detail. Assume there are three fields are there. Employee number, name and salary. Employee number is one field. Name is another field. Salary is another field. Totally it is called what a record. More than one record is called what a file. Here employee number is one field. Name is another field. Salary is another field. Next we'll pass on to basics of database. Database is nothing but a organized collection of information, row wise and column wise. Row is nothing but a tuple, column is nothing but a domain. Column is also called field. Row is also called record. The symbol is used for drum symbol is there. It is used for representing the database. Now, traditional database means traditional file processing system. This approach, each application will maintain separate master file. In this approach, duplication of data is a main theme. Limitation of a file based approach is that the program will be dependent on or in the files. Next, DBMS. It is a tools for organizing the data row wise and column wise. It is a tool. DBMS is a tool for organizing the data row wise and column wise. Merits or advantages of database. First one, here we don't require a highly technical person to handle the database. Here the processing speed is high comparing to DBMS approach. Third one, no need of external storage. Next, demerits or disadvantages of file oriented system and database system. First one, duplication of data, also called redundancy. Second one, data independence. At the time of redundancy, it will lead to the data dependence. It means one file totally depends upon another file. That is called data independence. Data inconsistency. There is a data inconsistency. Limited data sharing. Here we can share only limited amount of data. Large amount of data cannot be shared. Lack of security. You know that in any system, security is very important. Here no such a type of security. You can give the security, but high level security we cannot. Lengthy development time. Here it requires more time for development. These are all demerits or disadvantages. Next we'll pass on to applications of database. Wherever you can use the database, main applications are banking, there you can use the database. Airlines, there also you can use the database. Universities, database. Credit card transaction, there is a database system. Telecommunication, there also. Finance, there also database system is there. Wherever you can use, these are main applications of the database. Without database, we cannot store the data for future reference. Next, we'll pass on to session 2, database management system, applications and features. This comes under chapter 1. This is called session 2. A DBMS consisting of collection of interrelated data and a set of programs to access those data. It is a single storage of data. It is maintained for so many users. That storage is known as repository. Applications of DBMS: storage and reproduction of graphics, images, video, audio, building of the virtual company office, building of internet shops and distributed information systems, creation of website, unlimited opportunities. Next, we'll pass on to features of DBMS. First one, support for data modeling. One of the most important features of DBMS is that they encourage the separation of the logical structure of the from the physical structure of the data. This is a very important feature. Logical structure of the form from the physical structure of the data. Second one, physical versus logical data structure. The physical data description specifies the how the data is to be stored in the hardware. What we are given logically. Next, the third one, data modeling. The challenges in logical data modeling is to capture the relationship between pieces of data in a concise. First one in that hierarchical and network data models. Second one, relational data model. Relational data model. This ends second session of DBMS. Thank you. Next, we'll pass on to characteristics of DBMS. This comes under chapter 1, session 3. This is called session 3. Self-describing nature of database system. This is the fundamental characteristics of database. The DBMS catalog stores the description of a particular database. If you want to store the particular database, you have to give the description. Second one, data abstraction. Data abstraction means the characteristic that allows program data independence and program operation independence is called as data abstraction. That means abstract view of data. Next, support of multiple views of the data. Each user may see a difficult view of the database, which describes only the data internet sorry interest to the user. View may be subset of the database or it contains virtual data. Next one, sharing of data and multiple user transaction process. It allows a set of concurrent users to retrieve from or to update the database. If you want to update the database or if you want to retrieve the database, that is what you are. Sharing of data and multiple user transaction process. Next one, insulation between programs and data. In TFS, the structure of data files are embedded in the accessing program. So, many changes to the structure of a file may require changing all programs that access this file. Next, we will pass on to functions of DBMS. First one, database access languages and application interface. It provides data access via query language. A query language is a non-procedural language that is a user only need to specify what must be done without specifying how it is to be done. Query means what you're asking questions and getting answers. Second one, data storage management. DBMS creates the complex structure required for data storage. Next, third one, data dictionary management. The data dictionary stores the definition of data, elements of data, their relationship. There you can give the definition of data and there you can establish a relationship between various data items. Fourth one, data transformations and presentation. DBMS supports that data independence, hence DBMS translate logical request into commands that physically locate and retrieve the requested data. I told you already, yet in database you can give the query. Query is nothing but asking question and getting answers through the comments. Next, security management. The DBMS creates a security system that enforces users' security and data privacy within the database. That you know that you store anything, whatever you want, but you have to give the security. Without security, anybody can access your data, they can modify it, they can misuse it. That's why security is very important in any system. Next one, multi-user access control. It ensures that multi-user can access the data concurrently without compromising the integrity of the database. Next one, transaction management. A transaction is a series of database operations carried out by a single user. There are so many operations are there. Those operations are totally called what here? Database transaction management. This completes the third session. Thank you. We will see in the next session. Welcome back. In the session 4, this comes under chapter 1. We will see database users, different types of users. We will see. The overall aim of the database is to implement the concept of data abstraction and data independence so that we need some database users. Without users, we cannot develop the DBMS or else DBMS is useless. That's why users are very important. There are so many different types of users are there. First one, application programmers. This type of users has a complete knowledge about the existing database. Suppose if you want to improve, if you want to develop some more things, you should know existing database. That knows application programs. These users can operate on the database, or application programmers are the one who writes the application program that uses the database. You have to write the application program that is done by the application programmers. These application programs are written in programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python, and so on. Second user is sophisticated or casual users. They are database developers who writes SQL queries to select, insert, delete, update data. You know that in the DBMS there is select, insert, delete, update data. We'll discuss later on all these things. These users interact with the system using queries, basic language. These people having knowledge about database design. Example, scientists, engineers, system analysts. Application programmers will develop the application programs. Casual users will concentrate on database design. Third one, standalone end users. This type of users who are specialized to access personal databases and also small applications. These kinds of database will have ready-made database packages which will have menus and graphical user interfaces. That means that first one already explained, application programmers just develop the application programs. Sophisticated or casual users concentrate on database design. Then standalone end users, there they can access the personal data. They can implement some small applications. Native users, these type of users cannot have the alternate idea, but they can give the output of existing application to satisfy customer needs. You developing application that should reach the needs and requirements of the customers. For example, online library system, ticket booking system, ATMs, etc. Casual end users, last one. These type of users can have little bit knowledge about the operations, how to operate database. These people occasionally access the database. These users are also bothered about only output but not the designing part. See, you know that role of different data DBMS users. Next, we'll pass on to implication of database approach. First one, it is, it has the potential for enforcing standards. The database approach permits the DBMS database administrator to define and enforce standards among database users in a large organization. Second one, it reduces application development time. The incremental time to add each new application is reduced. Developing a new application such as the retrieval of certain specific data from the database. Suppose if you want to retrieve or access certain specific database. Third one, it is flexible to change data structure. The database structure may evolve as new requirements are defined. It must be flexible to accept any structural changes. There is some changes, it should accept. Fourth one, it provided up-to-date information. It is very important for online transaction systems such as airlines, hotel, car reservations, and so on. Fifth one, economies of scale. By consolidating data and applications across departments, wasteful overlap of resources and personnel can be avoided. Thank you. This completes session 4 of chapter 1. We will see in the next session. Welcome back. Here we'll I will explain advantages of database management system. First one is minimum data redundancy. In this approach, we will maintain the database for storing different, means unique, details of different users. Hence, data present in one file need not be duplicated in another or other. It will be reduce the repetition of data. Data redundancy means what is duplication of data? I stored some data. Someone else should not store same data. If we store data, that becomes data redundancy. Second one, data consistency. Reduces data redundancy leads to better data consistency. That is very important. Data consistency is very important in DBMS. Third one, data sharing. Related data can be shared through DBMS. Means doctor share his data with other doctor through the database. Dr. A is there. He wants to share some data to Dr. B. That can be done in database. Data independence. Here, there is a doctor, there is a patient. Patient does not depends upon the ward and so on, because each component must be known others data. That is data independence. Data integrity. In this approach, data integrity security is more compared to transaction file system. Here in file system, there is no security for the data. You can give the security, but here more security is there than the TFS, transaction file system. Sixth one, maintenance. It is easy due to centralized database system. There is a centralized database system. Anything, any applications, any tools, there is a centralized database system. Next, we'll pass on to disadvantages of database. Cost of hardware and software is high. Cost is very high. Not much, but it is a bit high. Need for the external database. If you want to store the data, we need external database. Next, data based is a bit difficult to store the data to external storage without interrupting others. Fourth one, highly dependent on DBMS operation. There is a dependency. DB means operations are there. Select, update, delete, and so on. There is a dependency. There is a dependency. This completes session 5 of chapter 1. Thank you. We'll see in the next session.